Hey guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom, back with a new week of what I cooked for dinner. This week's dinner video is going to be a combination of dinner clips as well as some Super Bowl recipes that I did. I just decided to throw those in this video. So I'm making here one of my favorite soups of all time. I've literally made this for 20 years. It's just a bunch of different veggies sauteed in EVOO, and then I add some chicken broth, a can of tomato sauce. You could also add like a can of marinara sauce or a jar of marinara sauce, a bunch of different spices, beans, sausage. It's just a really hearty soup, and I did throw in some ditalini pasta. I had a little salad with mine and a small bowl of soup with bread, and my husband had a larger bowl of soup with some bread on the side. It's just a really easy go-to winter soup that I make all the time. The next night, I went to the convenience meal of the Innovations sticky white rice and the Innovations honey chicken. It's just in the frozen section, really easy just to heat up and make, and I just did some steamed veggies on the side. Here are the two boxes of the items, just so you know if you're looking for something on a busy night. So this night for dinner, we had takeout from Buca di Beppo. After lunch at work, I had a work conference down in Albany with a few members of my marketing team. So I picked up this spicy chicken rigatoni for dinner, and I always get the extra sauce on the side. So this night here, I made a spiral ham. I love ham so much, and I just grabbed it at Walmart. It was super easy to make. I just whipped up an easy green bean casserole, just a traditional recipe. And then I did some of the sweet potatoes I buy from Walmart in the steamer bag and just put a little bit of butter on top. And it was just such a good comfort food dinner. Ham, sweet potatoes, and green bean casserole. We really, really enjoyed it. And we had leftovers to also bring for work the next day. So the next night I made the Pioneer Woman Sloppy Joe. I highly recommend this recipe if you do like Sloppy Joes. You could easily just Google it. I had these onion rolls here, and I just toasted them in the toaster, sliced them in half obviously, and put a little bit of butter, and then I put the Sloppy Joe mixture on top. I also decided to top the meat mixture with a little bit of sharp shredded cheddar cheese, and it was absolutely delicious. So along with these Sloppy Joes, I had a half a bag of tater tots to use up in the freezer, so I just baked them off. I put a little bit of cheese on mats, and we dipped the tots in some of the Cattleman Gold barbecue sauce, which is our absolute favorite. So for dinner this night, it was a no meat night, so I just did this DiGiorno thin crust margarita pizza with some easy side salads. I normally try to cook like actual food, but some weeks I'm just keeping it real. We go with convenience things a couple times, like a frozen pizza or that Asian dinner that I shared with you, and honestly, I don't feel bad about it because some nights and some weeks are just crazier than others, and we have other obligations that deter me from being able to cook the actual meals that I want. But this is what we had tonight with a salad. It was really good, and we'll see you tomorrow. Hey guys, so it is Super Bowl Sunday, and I wasn't planning on filming any of our Super Bowl food, but a few of you have asked, and a few of you have messaged me on Instagram asking me if I could share some Super Bowl food. So I know at this point when you're seeing the video, Super Bowl is over, but I did want to share just a couple things that I'm making for Super Bowl. We're just having family over, so nothing too crazy because we all have to work the next day. But I am making a queso rotel sausage dip, and it's super easy. So it's 3 ingredients. You're gonna need some Velveeta. They do have a sharp cheddar version of this, which I would prefer, but they were all sold out at Walmart. So I got the original Velveeta. I got the rotel, mild diced tomato, and green chili. And then I also have some ground cooked Jimmy Dean pork sausage here. I'm only going to use about half of this because I'm doing my small crock pot. This is about 1.5 quart crock pot, and I'm only going to use half of this, and I am going to use the whole can of this because the full recipe calls for 2 cans, but I'm having it just because the amount of people we're having over to make the full recipe would be way too much dip, since some people don't even eat it. So I'm going to just cut up half of this, throw it in the crock pot with half the sausage, half the rotel. It's that easy. It's literally 3 ingredients. So let me go ahead and cut this up. Alright, so I cubed up half of the Velveeta, I put half of the ground cooked sausage in, and then I'm just going to take the Rotel. I'm not going to drain it, there's very little liquid in there anyways, and I'm just going to kind of flatten that out, like that. You can't really stir it well yet because everything is kind of, the cheese is all in cubes. And then I'm just going to put this on low for 2 hours and just kind of keep an eye on it, and I'll stir it like every, I don't know, 20 to 30 minutes or so. And then once the 2 hours have gone by and it's all melty and combined, you just want to turn it down to warm. Alright, so it's been a couple hours and the queso is done. As you can see, I stirred it 3 times in the past almost 2 hours, and it's ready just to dip with some chips, and everything tastes delicious. This is definitely a crowd pleaser for any party, not just football. So I highly recommend this for something easy to bring that's definitely going to be a crowd pleaser. Alright, next up I am going to make some chicken wings. I've got these Purdue wings here. I had them frozen, I thawed them out, and these are my 2 options. I've got the Great Value Classic Buffalo Wing Seasoning Mix and the Garlic Parm. I think I'm going to do the Garlic Parm, but I have had both and they're both really yummy. So I do my wings in the oven. I know a lot of people, some people deep fry, some people air fry, but I find in the oven they get really crispy. But there's a couple key things I've learned to do to the wings to make sure they get crispy. So the first thing is I'm going to get them out of the package, clean them off, and then I'm going to pat them all dry. That's tip number 1. You want to pat your wings, or really any meat you're doing if you want it to get crispy, completely dry. So I'm going to work on that, and then I'll share with you how easy this packet is. I highly recommend these. Alright, so I just put the wings on a baking sheet with some cooking spray so they don't stick, because these stick really easily. I took a little bit of the Smart Balance oil, and I just put like a little droplet, and then I sort of tried to turn all the pieces a little bit just so that the meat gets coated. This ensures that they will get crispy in the oven. If you put your chicken wings in wet or not really coated with any kind of oil or even just cooking spray, they're really just not going to crisp up as nicely. So once I had all of the wings coated, because you want them moist so they hang on to that seasoning mix a little bit better, I just grabbed a Ziploc bag, a large one, and I put the seasoning mix in. I put all of the wings in that had been coated with the oil, and then you're just going to want to shake up the bag, move the bag around really well, try to get the wings coated as best as you possibly can. And this is just been what's been working for me since I do them in the oven. Of course, if you want to throw your wings in like a deep fryer or something, they're definitely going to get a lot more crispy. But I just find doing them in the oven, they just come out really good. They come out really crispy, and this seems to work with having them stick a little bit better by coating them first with a little bit of oil. So here they are laid out on the sheet pan, ready to get baked, and then when they came out of the oven, they were definitely crispy and delicious. Some of the seasoning does come off, which is that black stuff on the tray, but overall they were very flavorful. And my plate was some queso, some wings. I've got some cocktail sauce because we had some nice shrimp, and those are some jalapeno Tostitos. I hope you enjoyed this week's What's for Dinner video and seeing a couple of the items I made for Super Bowl. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.